Class. Time 2:30.
So yesterday I explained what is beam efficiency, what are the antenna parameters, beam efficiency, beam area, and those are explained in yesterday class. Today those are some more parameters of antenna are there. So those are gain. So how the gain of antenna is defined? So gain of antenna is defined as it is the ratio of maximum radiation intensity from test antenna to that of maximum radiation intensity from reference antenna. So with the same input power and losses are involved in both the cases of antennas. So once again you can define the gain also. Gain of an antenna is defined as it is the ratio of maximum radiation intensity from test antenna and radiation intensity from isotropic antenna with same input power, that is G is equal to phi maximum by phi naught, same input power. So definition 3, gain of antenna is defined as gain of antenna is defined as maximum power received by the test antenna and the maximum power received by the reference antenna. So G is equal to ratio of maximum power received by the test antenna and maximum power received by the reference antenna. That is equal to P1 maximum by P2 maximum. So definition 4, gain of antenna. So what is meant by gain? Gain efficiency. What is the general definition of gain? Gain is output by input. So gain efficiency all are same. Gain of an antenna is defined as the field strength at a given distance from a test antenna and field strength at a same given distance from the isotropic antenna. So generally gain of antenna is expressed in terms of decibels as G in dB. So that is equal to 10 log base 10 G, where G indicates the gain. So next, resolution or directivity and resolution. So resolution of an antenna is defined as half of the beam width between first nulls. Resolution is equal to capital Fn BW by 2. What is Fn BW? What is Fn BW? Beam width between first nulls. So, but half of the beam width between first nulls is equal to the half over beam width. Capital HPW is the half over beam width. Capital FNBW is the beam width between first nulls. So half over beam width is always half over beam width is equal to FNBW by 2. So actually HPBW is slightly less than FNBW. We know that yesterday class I can explain that beam area is defined as the product of half over beam width of principal planes. That is, this is the beam area theta HP phi HP, that is Fn BW by 2 suffix theta, Fn BW by 2 suffix phi. So it is the beam area is defined as the half over beam width of E plane and half over beam width of H plane. So electric field plane, H plane and E plane. If there are n number of point sources of radiations distributed uniformly, then antenna resolves these and its expression is given by n is equal to 4 pi by beam area, but directivity is equal to D is equal to 4 pi by beam area. So capital D is equal to, so n. So n in the above equation, what is n? Capital N is equal to 4 pi by beam area. That is the symbol for, that is the Ohm's representation symbol, that is beam area. A indicates area, but directivity is equal to capital D is equal to n. Thus the number of point sources resolved by an antenna is equal to the directivity of antenna. Resolution of antenna is called as Rayleigh resolution. So next, antenna apertures. So antenna apertures, 5 types: effective aperture, scattering aperture, loss aperture, collecting aperture, and physical apertures. So what is meant by effective aperture? Effective aperture, also called as effective area, that is capital A suffix small e. Effective area is the ability of antenna to extract the energy from the AM wave, which means that we can extract the energy from the electromagnetic wave. That is the effective, that is the effective area. Effective aperture is defined as the ratio of power received in the load to the average power density produced at that point. That is A suffix E is equal to PR by P average meter square. So let us consider a Hertzian dipole is used as receiving antenna. It extracts power from the incidence wave and deliver it to the load. The equivalent circuit for the receiving antenna is shown in slide diagram. Let VOC is the voltage induced in the antenna, that is modulus of electric field into DL. So V is basic formula of voltage. What is the basic formula of voltage? V is equal to EL. So we are taking the DL means small amount of length. So where E is equal to magnitude of electric field intensity produced at that receiving point. DL is equal to length of antenna. Z is equal to impedance of antenna, that is radiation, or capital R RAD suffix RAD indicates radiation resistance plus JX. Where that is radiation resistance, where capital R suffix small RAD indicates the radiation resistance, capital X is the reactance of the antenna. For the maximum transfer of energy, the load impedance should be complex conjugate of Z. So in network theory, in circuit theory, when the maximum power is delivered to the load, so you can observe in the diagram VOC, capital Z, Z is equal to RAD, radiation resistance plus JX, and ZL is equal to RAD minus JX. So always load impedance is complex conjugate of source impedance, that is RAD plus JX, that is equal to RAD minus JX. ZL is equal to RAD minus JX. At that time only maximum power is delivered to load according to the maximum power transfer theorem in the circuit theory. So then the current flowing in the circuit is I is equal to open circuit voltage, that is VOC by Z plus ZL. You can observe in the diagram VOC by what is Z? Z is nothing but radiation resistance plus JX. ZL is equal to radiation resistance minus JX, that is equal to VOC open circuit voltage by twice of radiation resistance. The power delivered to load is power, that is power received, that is PR is equal to IRMS square into radiation resistance, that is equal to VOC by 2 root 2 radiation resistance whole square. So radiation resistance, that is equal to VOC square by 8 into radiation resistance. From the equation 1, PR is equal to what? E square DL square. You can observe in the previous slide that, so here you can observe in the previous slide what is PR? PR is equal to E square. So PR is equal to E square DL square. VOC is nothing but what? E into DL. So 8 into radiation resistance. Maximum effective aperture is defined as what? Maximum effective aperture is defined as the ratio of maximum power received and average power density. What is the maximum? What is the maximum power received? That is So maximum power is PR maximum is equal to E square dl square by 8 into radiation distance by half of E square intrinsic impedance of free space, that is dl square intrinsic impedance of free space by 4 radiation resistance. So for a Hertzian dipole, radiation resistance is equal to 80 pi square in brackets dl by lambda whole square, and intrinsic impedance of free space is equal to 120 pi. So effective aperture is equal to dl square into 120 pi. After calculation, after simplification, you can get dl square into 120 pi by 4 in brackets 80 pi square in brackets dl by lambda whole square, that is equal to 1.5 lambda square by 4 pi. After simplification, you can get the effective aperture is equal to 1.5 into lambda square by 4 pi. Directivity of a Hertzian dipole is 1.5. So effective aperture is equal to lambda square by 4 pi. Second one, there are different types of aperture. First one is effective aperture. Second one is scattering aperture. What is scattering aperture? What is the definition of aperture? Ability to transfer the energy, electromagnetic wave energy. So scattering aperture is defined as the ratio of power received by radiation resistance and average power density produced at that point. So what is AS indicates the scattering aperture, that is ratio of power received by radiation resistance and to that of average power density produced at that point. Power received by radiation resistance is equal to IRMS square into radiation resistance by P average. The equivalent circuit of antenna is shown in the figure. You can observe, that is ZA and ZL. From the equivalent circuit, what is IM is equal to VA by square root of RL plus RA whole square plus XL plus XA whole square. So that is the maximum value from the circuit diagram. That is the maximum value or magnitude of the peak current. That is IRMS is equal to IM by root 2. What is IM in the above equation? You can observe. This is the IM, VA by square root of RA plus RL plus RA whole square plus XL plus XA whole square. This is the IM. So IRMS is equal to what? IRMS is equal to IM by root 2. That's why we are getting the here root 2. That is VA by root 2 into square root of RL plus RA whole square plus XL plus XA whole square. AS is equal to VA square into radiation resistance by 2 in brackets RL plus RA whole square plus XL plus XA whole square P average. So this is the scattering aperture definition. So what is the scattering aperture? IRMS square. What is IRMS square? This is VA by root 2 into in brackets square root of RL plus RA whole square plus XL plus XA whole square. So here radiation resistance, here radiation resistance, and P average, and also we are getting the P average. So for maximum power transfer, RL is equal to RA is equal to radiation resistance and XL is equal to XA. Then so maximum scattering aperture is equal to VA square into radiation resistance by 8 R square 8 into radiation resistance square into P average, that is equal to VA square by 8 into radiation resistance into P average. So maximum scattering aperture is equal to effective aperture maximum effective aperture. So this is the condition for the maximum power transfer. What is maximum scattering aperture is equal to the maximum effective aperture. Under maximum power transfer condition, that is ASM is equal to AAM. ASM ante scattering aperture, maximum scattering aperture, that is equal to AEM ante maximum effective aperture. The ratio of AS of antenna to its AE is called as scattering ratio and is denoted by beta. What is the scattering ratio? So it is the ratio of scattering aperture to that of the effective aperture. So let's next one. Loss aperture. Loss aperture is defined as the ratio of power dissipated by the lossless resistance of antenna and average power density. What is so loss aperture? That is indicated by AL. That is power dissipated by the loss resistance of antenna to that of average power density. Average power density. IRMS square into so R loss by P average. AL is equal to so VA square into R loss by so from the above equation we can get the that is IRMS square. So IRMS square can be written as what VA square by 2 into RA plus RL plus RA whole square plus XL plus XA whole square. So R loss P average in the above equation here also we are P average in the below equation that is equal to VA square into R loss by 2 into RL plus so RL plus RA can be written as radiation resistance plus loss resistance plus XL plus XA whole square that is P average. In brackets you can observe that RA what is the RA radiation resistance plus loss resistance. Next fourth one collecting aperture. What is collecting aperture? Collecting aperture is the sum of effective aperture AE, scattering aperture AS and AS that is loss aperture. So AC capital A suffix C is equal to AE plus AS plus AL. So AE is equal to what is the formula? So IRMS into RL by P average. What is the formula for AS? IRMS square into radiation resistance by P average. What is the formula for AL? IRMS into loss resistance by average power. AC is equal to so AC is equal to you can take common out IRMS square. IRMS square by P RL plus radiation resistance plus R loss that is equal to VA square into RL plus radiation resistance plus loss resistance by 2 into RL plus radiation resistance plus R loss whole square plus XL plus XA whole square. So P average. This is the collecting aperture. What is the collecting aperture? That collecting aperture is the combination of three apertures that is effective aperture, scattering aperture, loss aperture. So next one physical aperture. What is physical aperture? Physical aperture is defined as the actual cross section of area of antenna normal to the direction of propagation of EM waves towards an antenna which is set for the maximum response. For larger antennas like horn antenna, that is physical aperture greater than the effective aperture. These are the conditions for larger antennas, for smaller antennas and for lossless antenna. For larger antennas like horn antennas, physical aperture greater than the effective aperture. For small antennas like short dipole antenna, AP less than AE. For lossless antennas, AP is equal to AE. The ratio of AEM means effective aperture, maximum effective aperture. The ratio of maximum effective aperture and physical aperture of antenna is called as absorption ratio. So what is a scattering ratio? Scattering ratio is what? It is the ratio of AS to AE. Here absorption ratio, that is gamma is equal to ratio of AEM, that is maximum effective aperture to that of the AAP, that is physical aperture. Next one effective length of antenna or effective height of antenna. So up to aperture antenna parameters are over. Next topic is effective length of antenna or effective height of antenna. So effective length of antenna carrying peak current and also maximum current, we can also call maximum current IM. So E is defined as the length of an imaginary linear antenna with a uniform distributed current such that the both antennas have the same far field in theta is equal to pi by 2 plane. Effective length is represented by capital L suffix E effective. For practical antenna, E suffix theta is equal to J into intrinsic impedance of free space into beta by 4 pi r, that is into e power minus j beta r integration lower limits minus L by 2 to upper limit L by 2 I of z dz. That is the equation 1. That is the effective length represented by L effective. For practical antenna, that is the electric field formula of practical antenna. For practical antenna, variation of current can have any distribution. For an imaginary antenna, current is assumed to be uniformly distributed over the length. So, hence for imaginary antenna, so that is E suffix theta is equal to J into intrinsic impedance into beta by 4 pi r e power minus j beta r Im. So integration minus L effective by 2. So upper limit L effective by 2 dz, that is equal to J into, so intrinsic impedance of free space into beta by 4 pi r e power minus j beta r Im L effective. So practical and imaginary antenna produce the same electric field at some point, at far point. Far means far, near far. So the opposite word for near is far. But practical and imaginary antenna produce the same electric field at some distance, at far point. So equating equations 1 and 2. In the previous slide, you have the equation for E naught. That is E naught is equal to J into intrinsic impedance of this one in the previous slide. This is the equation 1 and this is the equation 2. From you can compare both two equations, that is L effective is equal to Im into L effective is equal to integration minus L by 2 to L by 2 I of z dz. The equation 3 represents the effective length of transmitting antenna. For a receiving antenna, effective length is defined as ratio of open circuit voltage. So how you can calculate the length? How you can calculate the, if there are three parameters: voltage, length and electric field. So how we can calculate the length? Length is nothing but voltage by electric field. Same that effective length is nothing but length of the antenna. Based on you are calculating the voltage and the receiving voltage and transmitting voltage to that of the receiving electric field and transmitting electric field, like that only. For a receiving antenna, effective length is defined as the ratio of open circuit voltage VOC induced at the open terminal of antenna to the incident electric field intensity producing VOC, that is L effective is equal to VOC by EI, that is open circuit voltage by electric field intensity. So capital L effective of antenna used for transmitting as well as for receiving purpose. So these are the fields from oscillating dipole. So let us consider a dipole antenna. This is fields means electric fields from oscillating dipole. Let us consider a dipole antenna with two equal and opposite charges oscillating up and down with simple harmonic motion as shown in figure A. So you can observe in the diagram, this is capital T is the time period of oscillation. So L is the instantaneous separation between the charges. L naught is the maximum separation between the two equal and opposite charges. So these are the different conditions. At T is equal to what? At T is equal to T by 8. At T is equal to T by 4. You can observe in the next slide. So for better understanding, we take single electric line only. So first case, you can observe in the previous slide, figure A, that is the at T is equal to 0. So what at T is equal to 0, what? Two charges at T is equal to 0, you can observe from A, B, C, D, E. At T is equal to 0, two charges are at maximum separation L0. Hence, acceleration of charge is maximum and current is equal to 0. So that is, there will be electric field line from positive charge to negative charge as shown in figure. This is the electric field line at t is equal to 0. So this one. Next figure B. At t is equal to t by a. T by 8. Capital T by 8. The charges moves towards. These are the two charges. You can observe on the top that is plus, and the bottom that is negative. So the charges moves towards each other as shown in figure. The shape of the field line is different. That's shown in figure A. So at t is equal to capital T by 4, the charges reaches at the midpoint of dipole. Acceleration of the charges becomes 0. That is small a. You can observe this. That is small a is equal to 0 with current. What is the current value? Maximum. At this instant, field lines. This is the field lines. These are the, you can observe, these are the field. So field lines cross each other and starts detaching as shown in figure C. So at figure D, so at small t is equal to capital 3t by 8, charges move away from the center of the dipole. The field line is completely detached and released from the dipole. So the wave is released. After detachment of the field line, a new field line starts developing as shown in figure D. So after small t is equal to capital T by 2, the charges reaches at the exactly opposite ends of the dipole. The charges gains maximum acceleration with current 0 as shown in figure E. So in this way, electric field lines are detached or radiated into free space by an oscillating electrical dipole. So what is the need of oscillating electrical dipole? So you can transmit or you can radiate or you can receiving the electromagnetic energy. This is the need of the oscillating dipole. So at small t is equal to 0, at small t is equal to t by 2. These are the conditions for the electromagnetic wave released from the dipole. At small t is equal to 0, at small t is equal to capital T by 8, at small t is equal to capital T by 4, at small t is equal to 3t by 8, at small t is equal to t by 2. So these are the. So next, field zones of antenna. What are the field zones? There are two field zones. Fields. You can always the entire antenna wave propagation. You keep in mind that fields means electromagnetic waves, which consisting of electric fields and magnetic fields. The fields radiated by an antenna can be divided into two regions. The near field or Fresnel zone and far field, that is not FR, that is FAR. So the far field or Fraunhofer zone. The two regions arbitrarily separated by a boundary whose radius can be given by capital R is equal to 2 into capital L square by lambda meter. So where I is equal to maximum dimensions of the antenna, where L is equal to maximum dimensions of the antenna in meters. Lambda is equal to operating wavelength in meters. So what is the units? R is equal to, in the above, L square is equal to meter square. For lambda is equal to M square, meter square by meter. So you can get the meter as the units for the radius. The far field are you can observe in the diagram. This is the diagram. What are the near field? What is the far field? The far field or Fraunhofer field region corresponds to that region where the measurable field components are transfers to the radial direction from the antenna and the entire power flow is directed radially outward. So this is you can observe in the diagram. That is far field or Fraunhofer region. This is the antenna. This is the antenna. So this is the capital L. maximum dimensions of the antenna. This is near field or Fresnel region. So this is the boundary sphere of antenna region. So this one is the small circle is the what is small circle is the near field, and that is the far field, that is outside the big circle is the far field or far offer region. You can observe in the near field or Fresnel zone, that is closer to the antenna. So this is the near field or Fresnel region is the closer to the antenna. You can observe in the diagram. The longitudinal component of electric field is significant and power flow is not entirely radial. The antenna is shown in figure enclosed in an imaginary boundary sphere. There will be reciprocating energy flow near the antenna accompanied by net outward flow in the equatorial region. The net outflow accounts for the power radiated by the antenna, and the reciprocating energy represents reactive power that is trapped near the antenna. So there are two. This is the antenna. This is the near field or Fresnel region. This is the far field or Fraunhofer region. Next, shape. Antenna shape impedance consideration. So there are different figures are there. Figure A, B, C, D, and E. So I can explain each and everything. What is figure A? Figure A shows the open out two conductor transmission line. Such structure provides constant impedance at the input end for small d. You can observe in the diagram, small d less than lambda and capital D greater than or equal to lambda, which can provide the constant impedance. That is the figure A. You can observe in the figure B. So figure A, once again, the structure is smoothly opened out to the free space, thereby coupling the input wave to the free space in a gradual way. This is the shape. These are the why we are taking the different shapes of antennas. So we can transmitting the for the transmission of electromagnetic energy. So in figure B, you can observe the conductors are straightened into regular cones. These two conductors are straightened into regular cones. In figure C, the conductors are aligned collinearly, forming biconical antenna. In figure D, the cones reduced to straight wires, forming the much familiar dipole antenna. So whenever the cones are reduced to straight wires, forming the much familiar dipole antenna. As the structure changes from figure A to figure D, the bandwidth decreases because impedance range over frequency goes on increasing. So the antennas in figure A and figure B gives the unidirection. You can observe in the previous diagram, that is figure A and figure B gives what? So gives the unidirectional radiations, where an antenna in figure C and figure D gives the omnidirectional radiation. Yesterday in the class I explained, that is what is unidirectional antenna, omnidirectional antenna, isotropic antenna. I explained in the previous class. The structure in figure E has two conductors curved more sharply and in opposite directions, resulting in a spiral antenna. What is this one? This is a spiral antenna. This antenna gives the maximum radiation in perpendicular to the plane of phase. You can observe in the diagram. E is perpendicular to the plane of phase, that behaves like the antenna in figure A. This figure E behaves like the behaves like an antenna in figure A. All the antennas are fed by two conductor balanced transmission lines. So figure A shows the cut cutaway of the antenna found by gradual gradually tapering the inner and outer conductors. Figure B shows the change of volcano form into double dish. Figure C shows the double dish. Figure C shows the double dish are changed into wide angle cones. Increase the, so this is the figure A and figure B. This is the figure A and this is the figure B, the figure C and figure D. Increase the lower cone angle to 1800 into a flat grounded plane, and reducing the upper cone angle gives the structure shown in figure D. Finally, collapsing the upper cone into a thin stub results to the extreme modification shown in figure A, shown in figure E. So this is the, as the structure changes from figure A to figure E, bandwidth decreases because impedance range over frequency goes on decreasing. So next one, this one is polarization. These polarization topics are very important in case of EMTL also. In case of EMTL fourth unit, there are different types of polarizations. So what is meant by polarization? Polarization of a wave is defined as the direction of electric field. Direction of electric field at a given point as a function of time. Please stay in the online. Please stay on the line. I am taking the attendance. Wait for 2 minutes. Polarization topic is within 2 minutes. I can complete the polarization topic. The polarization of a composite wave is the direction of the electric field. There are different types of polarization. Those are linear polarization, circular polarization, and elliptical polarization. I can explain each and everything. Linear polarization. What is linear polarization? A wave is said to be a linearly polarized if the electric field remains along a straight line as a function of time at some point in the medium. Linear polarization of wave is of 3 types: horizontal polarization, vertical polarization, and theta polarization. When a wave is traveling in z direction with E and H lying in xy plane. So if Ey is equal to 0 and Ex is equal to, and Ex is present, then the wave is said to be horizontally polarized. In case of on the x-axis, y is equal to 0. That is same like that. Ey is equal to 0 and Ex is present. So that is known as horizontally polarized. If Ey is present and Ex is equal to 0, then the wave is said to be vertically polarized. What is vertically polarized? On the y-axis, x is equal to 0. On the y-axis, x is equal to 0. Same like that. If Ex and Ey both are present and are in phase, then the wave is said to be theta polarized. Theta is given by, theta is equal to tan inverse of Ey by Ex. E is equal to what? Square root of Ex square plus Ey square. So LHP means linear horizontal polarized. VHP means linear vertical polarized. L theta P is equal to linear theta polarized. So what is linear polarization? A wave is said to be linearly polarized if the electric field remains along a straight line as a function of time at some point in the medium. You can observe in the diagram, that is Ex and Ey horizontal polarization. First diagram is the horizontal polarization. Second diagram is the vertical polarization. Third one is the theta polarization. Wait for 2 minutes. Circular pole. There are 2 polarizations are there. Circular polarization and elliptical polarization. After you sign out. So circular polarization. What is circular polarization? A wave is said to be circularly polarized if the electric field traces a circle. So if Ex means electric field electric field along x-axis and electric field along y-axis have both equal magnitude and a 90 degrees phase difference, the locus of the resultant E is a circle and the wave is said to be circularly polarized. Let E is a uniform plane wave traveling in the z direction and is represented by E of z is equal to E suffix e power minus j beta z, and in time varying form E of z comma t is equal to real part of EC into e power minus j beta z e power j omega t. When a wave travels in a z direction, Ex and Ey lies in xy plane. So here EC is a complex vector. EC is equal to E1 plus J E2, where E1 and E2 are real vector. At some point in space, that is Z is equal to 0. So E of Z comma T becomes E of 0 comma T, real part of E1 plus J E2 e power j omega t, that is equal to E1 cos omega t minus E2 sin omega t. We can take only the real part. As per the definition of circular polarization, the electric vector at z is equal to 0. So that is expressed as EC is equal to E suffix k ax plus j into E suffix k ay. So that is ax cap ay cap. So then E of 0 comma t is equal to real part of ek a suffix x plus j into e suffix k ay into e power j omega t, that is equal to e suffix k cos omega 2 a cap x minus j omega ek sin omega t a cap y. Ex is equal to ek cos omega t plus ey is equal to minus ek sin omega t, that is ek square is equal to ex square plus ey square. That is the equation of the circle. So what is the equation of the circle? X square plus y square is equal to r square. Same like that. What is ex square plus ey square is equal to ek square. Next one is elliptical polarization. So a wave is said to be elliptical polarized if the electric field traces a ellipse. If Ex and Ey will not have equal magnitude but with a 90 degrees phase difference, the locus of the resultant E is an ellipse and the wave is said to be elliptical polarization. EC is equal to A into A cap x plus J into JB into A cap phi, where A, small a and B are constant. In time varying form at z is equal to 0. So E of 0 comma t is equal to real part of A into A cap x plus JB into A cap phi in brackets, that is in brackets, into e power j omega t, that is equal to A cos omega t A cap x minus JB sin omega t A cap phi. Ex is equal to A cos omega t and Ey is equal to minus b sin omega t. So squaring on both sides for the above equation, that is ex square is equal to a square cos square omega t and ey square is equal to b square sin square omega t. So we can get the equation of the ellipse. Thank you. Okay. Wait, I can take the attendance.
Sir, you can leave now.
Okay, I'm leave the class.
Sir, doubt, sir.
చెప్పమ్మా. హలో 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 నాట్ రెస్పాండింగ్, డౌట్ ఉన్నారు? హలో ఓకే అమ్మా, లీవ్ ద క్లాస్.
Thank you, sir.
మేఘనా మేఘనా